All right, let's talk about the UK car theory test. We're going to break down every single part of it and hopefully turn what seems like a really daunting task into a clear, simple path to getting your license. So, are you feeling a bit nervous about your theory test? Yeah, that's totally normal. It's the first big hurdle, right? But honestly, you're not alone. Stick with me, and I promise by the end of this, you'll know exactly what to do to walk in there feeling ready and confident. Okay, so here's our game plan. We'll start with the basics, what the test even is. Then we'll dive into how to prepare, what to expect on the day, and what it's like actually taking the test. After that, we'll look at the pass or fail criteria and wrap up with how to get the right support if you need it. Let's do this. So, first things first, what actually is the theory test? Well, you can think of it as your first official step on the road. It's absolutely essential because, plain and simple, you can't even book your practical driving test until you've got this one in the bag. The whole thing is really a test of two halves, and you do them back to back. First up, you've got the multiple choice questions. That's all about your knowledge, your book smarts. Then you move on to the hazard perception part, which is all about your awareness on the road. And here's the kicker. You have to pass both of them. You can't pass one and fail the other. It's an all or nothing deal. All right, now you know the structure. So let's talk about what's probably the most crucial bit, how to prepare. Because honestly, good prep is what separates walking into that test center feeling totally in control from walking in with, sweaty palms and a sense of dread. Knowledge is power, right? And here's some good news for you. The multiple choice part isn't designed to trick you. Not at all. Every single question comes directly from one of 3 official books: The Highway Code, Know Your Traffic Signs, and Driving the Essential Skills. So if you really get to grips with those, you're going to know the answers. It's that simple. But look, just reading the books isn't quite enough. You've got to put what you've learned into practice. And that's where the official DVSA apps and online test kits come in. They are an absolute game changer. They help you test your knowledge and, crucially, sharpen those hazard perception skills. It's one thing to know the rule. It's another to apply it when the pressure's on. Okay, fast forward. You've done all the revision, you've practiced like mad, and the big day has finally arrived. So what actually happens when you get to the test center? Let's walk through it. Now listen very carefully, because this is probably the most important piece of advice for the day. You must take your UK photo car driving license with you. I can't stress this enough. If you forget it, you won't be able to take your test, and you won't get your money back. It's as simple and as serious as that. When you get there, the process is pretty straightforward. First, aim to arrive a little early, maybe 15 minutes or so. You'll present your ID, that license we just talked about. Then you'll have to store all your personal belongings, like your phone and watch, in a locker they provide. And finally, you'll go through a quick security check before you head in. It's all designed to make sure everything's fair and square for everyone taking the test. Okay, you've made it through security, you're at your computer. Deep breath. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty of how both parts of the test actually work. So, the first part is the multiple choice questions. You've got 50 questions to answer, and you have 57 minutes to do it. After that section, you get an optional 3-minute break before the hazard perception starts. And a word of advice, definitely take that break. Just use those 3 minutes to clear your head and reset. Here's a really useful tip for this part. If you get to a question and you're just not sure, don't panic and don't waste time on it. There's a flag button, just click that, move on, and you can come back to all your flagged questions at the end. It's a lifesaver for managing your time. Okay, on to part 2, hazard perception. The key phrase you need to understand here is developing hazard. So what is that? Well, it's basically anything that would cause you as the driver to take action, to change your speed or your direction. That's what you're looking for. Here's a perfect example to make it super clear. Imagine a parked car. Right now, it's just a static hazard. It's just part of the scenery. But then its indicator starts flashing. Now it's a developing hazard because it's about to do something that requires you to react. That's the moment you need to click your mouse. So, how does the scoring work? Well, you can get up to 5 points for each developing hazard you spot. The trick is, the earlier you spot it and click, the more points you get. So it really rewards being quick and decisive. You just click as soon as you see something start to happen. But, and this is really important, you can't just cheat the system. Don't think you can just click like crazy the whole time. The software is designed to detect that. If you click continuously or in some kind of pattern, you'll score 0 for that whole video clip. So you won't lose points for a few wrong clicks, but don't go wild. And that's it. You're done. Both parts are finished, and one of the best things about the theory test is there's no waiting around for weeks to find out how you did. You get your results right there, right away at the test center.
So what are the magic numbers? What do you need to pass? For the multiple choice questions, you need to get at least 43 correct out of 50. For the hazard perception part, you need to score a minimum of 44 points out of a possible 75. Remember, you have to hit both of those targets. So what happens next is pretty black and white. If you pass, fantastic. You get a pass certificate number, which is valid for 2 whole years. That's your ticket to booking your practical test. And if you fail, look, don't panic. It happens. You just have to wait 3 working days before you can book another test, and you get to try again.
Okay, let's move on to something that's really important, getting the right support. The whole point is to make the test accessible and fair for everyone, so let's look at what help is available. Now, the absolute key thing to remember here is that you need to be proactive. When you book your theory test, that's when you have to say if you have a reading difficulty, a disability, or any health condition that might affect you. Please don't wait until the day of the test, because they need time to arrange things for you. And there's actually a pretty wide range of support available. Things like getting extra time for the multiple choice section. You can have the questions read out to you through headphones. It's also possible to have someone read the questions to you or even reword them to help you understand. And there's also an option for a British Sign Language video interpreter. The main thing is just ask. And that's pretty much the whole shebang. The theory test, hopefully a little less mysterious than when we started. You now know what it is, how to prep for it, and what happens on the day. So really, the only question left is, once you passed and you have that certificate in your hand, what's next for you on your road to freedom?
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and leave a comment. Download our app and keep studying on the go. Scan the QR code to get started.